a lot of people, I'm going to tell you, are going to lose their farms this year. Because of the crop failure in Iowa, they're not going to be able, while we live check to check, they live crop to crop. So there's going to be a lot of consolidation with big agri over the course of the next year. It is going to be phenomenal. What has happened to wheat is going to happen to corn. The price is already shooting up, but no one really asked the question why so many things at one time in history. Grain silos exploding in Iowa, mysterious fire. It rarely happens at at these particular facilities where usually they can be contained, but to have so much of it destroyed. But the big picture is all these viruses that are out there attacking wheat, not only UG99, but again, there's a new virus that has been discovered in Kansas that's preventing the wheat from fully growing. And then you have the issue with corn and biofuels and the inflation and big agri, GMO in particular, Monsanto and their subsidiaries are positioned to make a lot of money in the next year to provide the third world with seed where they need aid. So again, they're going to get loan more money, and they're going to have to. So it's going to be a big wave of consolidation, and it's a little bit overwhelming. So that's the food end, and we see this stuff happening with the banks. The Royal Bank of Scotland has basically issued a major warning that in the near future there's going to be a crash where there's not going to be any credit running around any longer. You see, it's funny money. The whole thing's funny money, and we're running out of it. We print too much of it. We run out of the value itself. That is leaving the country, and that's what people don't fully understand. People ask, will people wake up and kind of figure it all out after the crash? And the answer is no, not at all. There'll be people waking up to different realities that they may need to wake up. It may be part of their, excuse my metaphysical French, their karma, their, what is necessary in their life to evolve. We're all on different paths in this lifetime. But in order to, change the White House and, reverse these things and reverse this big brother state, no, we're going quicker and quicker in terms of acceleration into the future, into the brave new world. Thumb scanning machines being put up to work, the databases that they're setting up. Question for yourself on your own. Instead of thinking that another leader is going to lead us out of this hellhole, this basket that we're in today. This person, Obama, that's saying that it's okay to continue to spy and the corporations won't be held accountable. Back in February, Barack Obama caught flack from subliberals for refusing to rule out deploying private security companies like Blackwater worldwide in Iraq. In a wide-ranging interview with the Military Times, Obama repeated and explained his views on guns for hire. They are going to be used for private contractors, he said, and not just in the mess hall or behind a forklift. He says that he has his own bill that is critical of Blackwater and that it would hold private contractors accountable. So we have a big polarity difference between actions and rhetoric that most people can't see. There is something very magical, mystifying, and hypnotic about the Obama campaign. The symbols of the rising sun that have been used for years that are in his campaign sign, some of the pictures that have been taken with light coming out of his body.
It's really scary how many people choose to put their head in the sand rather than look at what's in front of their face. I got a letter from the DMV, which I don't know, I could figure out some call letters for that one, because it's turning fascist, and this is why. This letter I got stated, this is a vehicle I don't use very often. I got a truck, motorcycle, and a car. And I don't always have them all insured. It's on private property. Okay, this lady, I got a demand letter. It said basically, you either get insurance, we want to see if we want proof of insurance that you have insurance on this motorcycle. And if you don't, you're going to be on an SR22 for the minimum requirements for like bodily injury
Barrett,
insurance. Yes.
Were you pulled over or you just got a letter?
I got a letter.
Okay. Well,
And I
this is good.
called
This
them
is
up.
good. This is good info because they're already premeditatively looking like, look, we have to modernize the system. Eventually, you get to the point where they'll set up cameras just to go through everyone's license plate number, see if they're insured,
That's
and then
bullshit,
send
too.
out the cop to that specific spot after they've been dispatched by the automated panopticon in the sky.
Here's what scared me was the gal I was talking to on the phone didn't see anything wrong with it.
No.
Anyway, that's my comment.
Well, thank you. We have to understand that we are animals, physically, biologically, but we're also social animals, and we have amazing imaginations and intellect that can create amazing destruction and great beauty at the same time. We have to learn that the hive mind of our species is poisoned to a certain degree, and mind control is a reality in today's world, whether it be advertising or it be a black heart program or it be, blatant propaganda coming out of the TV set or, listening to Army war ads as you sleep at night on a commercial Clear Channel station or those flashy things that you're seeing that show an image at you so fast that you don't even know that it's there. When you get even on the web, in some of those animated flashes that ask you how many days is it going to be until you die. When we become aware there's something wrong, we can learn that sometimes we have to step back from the herd, from the collective, and find our own center. And that has to be done now. That has to be done now because things are getting more dangerous, things are getting more volatile, things are getting crazier. So will be people and suicide rates, but it's also the opportunity for massive growth. Now with the news. This is something a lot of people aren't aware of when you ask the question, who's really pulling the strings? Is it really a war? Or is someone orchestrating this war from above for us as a species to kill each other out to make way for something else? A new world or a new way of living under a new rule by God knows what. You know they're waiting for something in 2012 as well. They want to have everything HD in both radio and TV by that date. When you get into just to how much they understand about the mind, how to tweak it, how to beam a voice into someone's head, an image into someone's head, to heat up their body, to make them scream, to make them vomit with a flashlight, all these different technologies being given out to local police departments, people being attacked, their IPs being watched, their phones being tapped. Where are we really going to go with this? 1984 was written a long time ago, my friends. It is passé compared to the technology today that only Adolf Hitler, Mussolini, Mao Zedong, and all the other bastard dictators that came before Bush could only salivate and dream and masturbate over. These people are sick, and as long as we continue to judge them by our own moral compass the way we would judge ourselves, we're going to lose. This is it's about evolution, and, consciousness has to come to the point where it's greater than the level of consciousness that created the problem to begin with. The veil's thinning. More and more people are starting to see what's going to take place in a short span of time. In the near future, like someone's literally playing the Bible, scene by scene, including Revelations 9:11, where the destroying angel comes out of the burning pit. U.S. finds it's getting crowded in space. China plans to conduct its first spacewalk in October. The European Space Agency is building a roving robot to land on Mars. India recently launched a record 10 satellites into space on a single rocket. Space, like Earth below, is globalizing, and as it does, America's long-held superiority in exploring, exploding, and commercializing the final frontier is slipping away, many experts believe. When we all know that all it's about is pushing one single button. When we look at the future of war, we have to stop the madness now. Now, there's some things that we can't stop, and some wheels are already in motion. We have to prepare and adjust our perspective of reality and understand why we're going through this. Why are we born into an environment where this is taking place, where we feel so defenseless when we're not? But why are we going through this challenge in our life? Why are we here? One of the most amazing and destructive, intelligent, beautiful, all these different things taking place in this time-space reality. What the hell's going on? I mean, we're going to see a lot of stuff in our lifetimes. We know that. Brain chips, microchips, E.T., fake invasions, World War III. I mean, the list goes on. Wars over water. International World Army troops after the fall of the U.S. What's going to happen to our economy? I mean, allowed to go on, piece by piece, America will continue to be devoured and eaten by people that don't even live in this country, that are making decisions far, far away from here. Vatican says that aliens are our brothers. We're seeing more and more movies where the ETs are coming out to assist us in saving our planet. WALL-E is in theaters now. I was walking through the mall the other day. There were always crazy things that I see in the mall. I just walk in there just to kind of shock my system. I actually was looking for, I actually skimmed an entire book in 1 hour called 2013. It was all over these different perspectives on 2012 at Borders at Lloyd Center. But, you know, you just want to freak yourself out and go into a mini horse show just for 5 seconds. So I walked into the video game avenue and wow, we got about 10 games where the kids are ready to ride around in exoskeletons, fighting the future wars remotely. Maybe not even on the battlefield. Everybody lined up. Then you go outside, and there's Comcast with their little booth set up. And there's a little kid, though, in this ad for Alien World, where he's looking at his watch, and he's communicating with these draconian reptilian characters. And I'm just like, and then I'm looking at this like commercial for this kids cartoon about 6 months ago. It's this cartoon that's on Cartoon Central, where these kids are contaminated by something in the water supply that causes them to genetically mutate into reptilian dinosaurs that are superheroes to save the world. What am I getting at? Am I ranting like a lunatic? Or am I so sane it just appears that way? There's something wrong with where the direction of the children's minds are going, with where DNA is going, where with the world of nanotechnology and genetic mutation, crossbreeding different species. I mean, we live in a world where people think it's normal that people eat food that came from a seed that has a sterility trait that tells it after a year you kill yourself. Yet we put food in our body that's been programmed by evil mofos to kill itself. We're programmed. You are what you eat. Suicides are going up, you say? What the hell's going on? When we accept that this is going to be normal, that eating is not a human right, that drinking water is not a human right, that shelter is not a human right, that the right to not have your mind be bombarded with radio waves and advertising. Where are we going to find a world where not having those things in our mind is a human right? We're not in that world now. They already do test runs. You walk into malls sometimes. I don't know of any in Portland, but they've done some in the UK. The UK is a bizarre, bizarre place. We don't have time to get in their surveillance grid. You walk up, and they set up one in New York as well. The thing just tells you, hey, you, over here. Ding, 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 bell, bell, bell. Hello. Hi. Hi, how are you doing? New series, new show coming to you from Disney, The Unexplained Phenomenon. This was a real report. We went over it about a year ago. They're testing something in the street. People going, who was that? They look around, behind you. How is that not a crime? If that is taking place, how long have they had this technology? And what else what is in the signals that are out there? The mystery behind cell phone masks. You know, one time we ran out of time on this show a couple weeks ago, and the last report was cell phone masks in the UK linked to suicide. Again, all these people that are just killing themselves, that they find to be located in this cell phone mask zone. And I live in an area of tons of cell phone masks. And so do a lot of people in Portland. And you walk around and people go, you know, it just seems that people are just walking like they're in a trance. And for those that go, I don't have a cell phone, it doesn't matter. You're not really reducing it. It's what's out here that's larger than just that cell phone. It's the whole electromagnetic spectrum. Some experts believe craft from outer space are appearing because they are concerned about what man is doing to this planet. Move along. Move along. Nothing to see here. I want to say something about um, we'll refrain from name calling. The economy is falling. Less of us have money. It's tough to see a lot of people on the street that need money. Things are going to get worse. More people are sleeping in their cars. Even in California, they've designated certain places for people to sleep in their vehicles. In some cities, slowly. This is all being done out of compassion. People with property that will allow them on their property to do this. Men over here, women over there, keep it a little bit safe. Things are dangerous for women on the street. A lot of people really don't know the stories. I happen to know more than the average person about what people go through on the street. And the reality is, a lot of us could be facing that reality or the refugee experience in the coming years. Things are so damn good right now. We have no clue. We have no clue how good things are right now. It is in free fall. And that's why all this stuff's been developed. Look, back to the story. I'm walking on Hawthorne. A lot of people are out there that are looking to get money. Environmental Oregon, Children International, and Greenpeace. And the opening, conversation started for them is, hey, do you want to help out the kids? It's an insinuation that if you don't give money to them, you're not helping out the kids. And a lot of them can be a little bit rude if you can't. See, the issue that I'm having and I want to point out is that we have a lot of people that are responding to these billboards that are popping up all around the country in Portland. Get paid to be a progressive, to be sustainable. Get paid to change the planet. So they type in this number, and it's all about you working for commission to get money for this organization, a lot of them which have shady track records. Some of them are good, and some of them have donated good causes. But a lot of them are doing that solely because they're making money while, I'm not wanting here, I'm making a point. I'm doing this because I'm really seeing big danger come our way, and I don't see, a little bit of money in an organization changing things. I'm seeing some big things shift, and a big problem is lack of information as to what's going on. So I feel it's vital that I come here and tell you that, hey, the government's involved in false flag terror. They're involved in using food as a weapon. They're interested in bringing down the population through immoral means. There are powers that be operating today on our planet that we cannot possibly comprehend. We need to take a look and question our reality. Now, I'm not asking for, a thank you. What I'm saying here is it's frustrating. So I experienced an encounter where someone called me a liar because I said I didn't have enough to contribute, but I wished him good luck. And this was after I'd already was asked by 7 other people, because now there's 3 on a block instead of 1 or 2. And they figured that's the place to go because people are spiritual, hanging out, Hawthorne, hippie, yay, free spirit, yeah. Hey, they'll give us some money. So to turn around and call somebody a liar is, not cool. Now, the reason I went into that is because when I responded and defended myself, it became herd mentality, mob mentality, where his peers came to back him up and began to yell at me and tell me to go away, and I just don't care about the kids. And so we're going to see a lot of divisions and a lot of emotions and anger come up with so-called progressives and people of the right. Forget labels. People in general in the city, they're going to be reacting. Just try to go a day without eating. And I may eat breakfast, but I'll tell you, if I don't eat, sometimes I just don't even eat breakfast sometimes, and I just forget. I'm better with that now. But I will be very agitated and angry or whatever, grumpy by 3 o'clock, and then maybe I'll eat. And so a lot of people do that because we live busy lives. Imagine people after a couple days. There's going to be a lot of finger pointing, a lot of name calling, a lot of people pulling up the knife a little too quickly, ironically while they're wearing a tie-dye t-shirt with hemp clothing. Totally forgetting what this was all about, the coming together, forgetting that we are one people and we have to come together as a collective to not let our emotions override us over who we think is right and who we think is wrong. We have a lot of people that are convinced that people that don't like Obama are racist. They've gotten almost in this fascist mentality that, this guy can do no wrong, that it's almost pleasurable just to say the word Obama. I mean, it's just the things that are so obvious out there that aren't being seen by the locals is, again, frightening and a little bit dangerous to those of us that are really trying to restore freedom. So we need to hang on. Again, dangerous times are coming. I'm letting you know now. They've worked to keep us in a left brain state of consciousness, when you explode the possibility of the right brain and you truly seek to feel free, to understand where we came from, where we're going, what's really controlling the planet, you can't go back. As many people have said before, one person cannot unhear something once they've heard it. So when you're out there talking to people, friends, family, otherwise, you're planting seeds. Nurture them, give the seeds love, give them water, give them the nutrients that they need, and step back and let nature do the rest. Go ahead.
Alex, hi. This is Court. I just wanted to say thank you. It's good to see you back on the box. I wanted to ask you if you've covered RFID chips before on the Oregon driver's license. The RFID chip is being issued now on the new cards. I've just received one. I didn't, of course, agree to that, but it's been issued on my card nonetheless.
Yeah, we told people, actually, we started talking about that 3 years ago.
3 years ago.
We were talking about the National ID card system, which they're implementing, the Real ID Act of 2005. They keep pushing it back because they're trying to get all the states lined up. The recent news on that is that Homeland Security brought down the price so more states could afford it. So a lot of states are on their way to being compliant with that. And Oregon, although some people think Portland's progressive, Oregon is right on board with complying with anything that the federal government wants. And that includes Ted Golingoski, our governor, and Mayor Potter.
Exactly. And then combining that, of course, with cell towers and satellite technology, it seems to me an interesting tagging system for chattel, for the corporate oligopolies or corporate oligopolistic monopoly to, keep track of what we're buying, when we're buying it, et cetera, et cetera. But I wanted to thank you again, thank you as well for mentioning in your news briefing there of what's going on overseas. It might be a good time to invest in futures again on oil. Excuse me, I know that's not funny, but what can I say?
If you think you're going to be able to get the money when everything's when the smoke clears, and I'm beginning to question that.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people with money are getting ready to lose a lot of money, and they're going to be alongside you and me, and you and me are going to be talking to them about, we told you so, but not to put in your face, now what do we do now, my friend? Because again, there's no one now saying, hey, Alex, you were right. I understood what you're saying about the RFID because, hell, surveillance and whatnot, I got a thumb scan to work at this hotel in downtown Portland now. I mean, I'm actually hearing stories about one particular hotel. You got a thumb scan to work. RFID, yes. You want to look at the little Wi-Fi system they put up downtown. Well, now they're saying they're not going to fund that anymore. The free Wi-Fi,
yeah.
But that technology will still stay downtown because it can be used by Homeland Security and it can detect RFID. Homeland Security put it in the first place. So
Right.
they're not about to take down the infrastructure that they're setting up in our own city.
No.
Well, I want to thank you for your call. We are entering an era of great darkness, where people are willing to do horrific things to one another. I do believe our consciousness at this time can shift, but it is not going to happen to all of us. What I'm saying is critical now as we leave tonight. Some of us can reach enlightenment in our lifetimes. However, we are going to have to learn to do it sometimes physically alone, without people in our world. I've struggled with that one, even if it's just on the web or a phone call here and there, because we will see people becoming beasts. I don't know about literally. I don't put it off the table. I mean, but at least metaphorically and in terms of energetically, people are reacting in some insane ways. So the future is an uncertain thing, but I will tell you that the stability that we're facing now, that we're dealing with now, that we're experiencing with the economy, the fact that you can go to an ATM and get your credits out, or these dollar bills, and it actually being able to buy you something in the store, it's leaving. We have to be aware. We have to grow physically. We have to grow spiritually. We have to grow psychologically. Because now in this era of darkness and deception, you can't trust the papers. You can't trust the TV. You can't trust the radio. For your own sanity and reality, you want to get further and further away from technology, not more ingrained in it. The reality is, today, more than ever, the path to the ultimate truth still starts within. It will become that way, increasingly so, in the future, day after day, year after year. Good night.